before the internet knew the name Slim Jesus, before the viral memes and diss tracks. There was just a teenage kid named Easton Phillips growing up in a forgotten part of the Midwest, Hamilton, Ohio, population just over 60,000. Tucked between Cincinnati and Dayton, it's one of those towns that doesn't make the news unless something goes wrong. It's working class, gritty, full of factories and train tracks. The kind of place where ambition often dies young, and most kids either stay stuck or try to disappear into something. Sports, street life, or music. Easton was quiet, skinny, smart, but not academic. He didn't get into fights, he didn't play football. Instead, he spent his time online, downloading beats, making weird YouTube videos, and obsessing over Chicago drill music. He wasn't just casually listening to Chief Keef or Lil Durk. He was studying them, watching every visual, memorizing flows, decoding lyrics. This wasn't just music to him, it was a whole world he felt connected to, even if he wasn't from it. By age 15, he was rapping over drill-type beats in his bedroom. No expensive mic, just a laptop, a cheap USB microphone, and a dream. His flow was unrefined, his delivery monotone, but there was something oddly hypnotic about it. He had a presence. A blank, almost menacing stare that made you watch, even if you weren't sure why. In early videos, now mostly deleted, he'd rap in front of friends, often holding fake guns or flexing like the rappers he idolized. His neighborhood wasn't the trenches, but it wasn't exactly safe either. Drugs, poverty, and low-key gang activity floated through Hamilton's streets like background noise.
Hamilton police tracked down a man who they say is the shooter who nearly killed a man last night. Broderick Roberts is in jail facing felonious assault charges. Roberts allegedly fired a gun hitting a victim around 10:30 last night on East Avenue near Chestnut Street. That victim was rushed to the hospital, then flown to a trauma center in Dayton. Detectives say neighbors and witnesses helped them track down Roberts.
The name Slim Jesus started as a joke. People called him that because of his build. Tall, thin, pale, with shoulder-length hair and a messiah complex when it came to rap. But instead of laughing it off, Easton leaned into it. The name stuck. And in his head, Slim Jesus was no longer a joke. He was a character, a persona, a drill rapper. A white teenager from Hamilton, Ohio, who rapped about switches and sticks like he grew up in the middle of Chicago's O Block. His music video Drill Time exploded online. Guns, grit, a blank-faced delivery, and a kid who looked like he should have been at a skate park, not waving around assault rifles in a music video. The video went viral in days. Blogs picked it up, rappers reacted, memes flew. But just as quickly as Slim Jesus entered the spotlight, he began to fade from it. People questioned if he was real, if he was fake, or if he was just a brilliant troll riding the wave of drill rap to internet fame. So what really happened? Who was Slim Jesus before the clout? Why did he disappear? And how did his name become both a punchline and a footnote in hip-hop history? This is the full story, from the rise to the fall to the strange legacy of Slim Jesus. Born in 1997. A skinny, soft-spoken white kid with sharp eyes, a sarcastic sense of humor, and a quiet intensity. He wasn't a jock, he wasn't a popular kid. He was that kid in the back of the class scribbling lyrics in a notebook while everyone else watched the clock. He grew up in a modest home. His mom worked hard to provide. There was no silver spoon, no record label uncle, just video games, YouTube, and headphones. But music gave Easton an identity, and when Chief Keef's I Don't Like dropped in 2012, something clicked. "I remember the first time I heard Keef," Slim would later say. "It sounded like chaos, but it made sense to me." From that point on, drill music became more than a sound. It was a blueprint. Easton began immersing himself in the Chicago drill scene. Chief Keef, Lil Durk, Fredo Santana, Lil Reese. He watched their interviews, studied their visuals, analyzed their bars. He wasn't from the south side of Chicago, but he felt the aggression in their music matched something he had inside him too. Frustration, anger, and a need to be seen. By the time he was 15, he started rapping, recording himself with a USB mic, making rough videos, posting them on Facebook and early SoundCloud under the name Slim Jesus. But he had something most teenage rappers didn't: commitment, a vision, a character he was building. He didn't just rap, he built an image. Gun-heavy visuals, street slang, drill beats, the full package. even if the content was far from the truth of his own life. Still, Hamilton wasn't exactly soft. The city had its own issues: substance abuse, violent crime, economic collapse.
It happened in a matter of moments last night at this homeless shelter in Hamilton. In the women's dorm, a disagreement over chores turns violent.
And so the person was shoved and hurt. 911 was called, and then she was taken to the hospital, and she does have some injuries.
The woman in her mid-80s, the person who allegedly shoved her in her mid-20s. That woman ejected from the shelter.
Slim wasn't pretending to be from a suburb, but he wasn't from the streets either. The question of authenticity never bothered him. He saw rap as performance, entertainment, and in his eyes, he was just another kid trying to make music that sounded hard, even if he wasn't. Friends from the area say he was quiet but sharp, always watching. Not the type to start problems, but not afraid to say something wild if it got a reaction. By late 2014, he was uploading songs more consistently, still under the radar, but building. And then, in the summer of 2015, everything changed. Slim had an idea, a video, a song, a moment that would flip his life upside down. By mid-2015, Easton had built up a small local following. Nothing major, maybe a few hundred followers on Twitter, a couple thousand views across his early YouTube tracks. But he felt momentum building, and he had something bigger in mind. That summer, he locked in with a local videographer and some friends who owned realistic-looking firearms. Together, they mapped out a plan to shoot a video that looked and felt like real drill. Violent, aggressive, unapologetic. He chose a beat that sounded like something straight out of 300 Entertainment's catalog. Dark, fast, chaotic. He titled the track Drill Time. The hook was simple, but cold. Then came the visual. Slim stood in front of a brick wall, dressed in all black, surrounded by boys holding pistols, extended clips, AR-style rifles. The guns, some were fake, some were real. It was hard to tell. But the message was clear. They wanted this to look like a real drill video. There were no labels, no managers, no security, just teenagers with fake guns, real guns, and a dream to go viral. And Slim, he didn't flinch. He performed the whole video with a deadpan delivery, barely blinking, like he was born for the role. "It was wild," said one of the kids in the video. "We didn't think it was gonna blow up. It was just something to do." But Slim knew what he was doing. He studied the viral formula. He'd seen what worked, how absurdity and danger could blend into perfect internet content. On August 18th, 2015, he uploaded the video to YouTube. At first, nothing. A few hundred views in the first few hours, a couple of local shares. But then, it hit Reddit, then Twitter, then WorldStar. Within 48 hours, Drill Time was all over the internet. Hundreds of thousands of views, comments pouring in. People didn't know what they were watching. Was this real? Was it satire? Was this kid really about what he was rapping? The reactions were polarizing, and that's what made it viral. Blogs like Complex, Hot New Hip Hop, and Noisy picked up the story. Headlines ranged from mocking to intrigued. Is this white kid the new face of drill? Slim Jesus, is everything wrong with rap today? But whether you hated it or not, you watched it, and Slim was ready to capitalize. He followed it up with tweets embracing the chaos. "Y'all mad, but you watching?" He began retweeting memes, laughing with his haters, leaning into the confusion. Every second someone doubted him, his views went up.
It's crazy. Believe me, I get them hate tweets too. Like, I'm not saying everybody's supporting it. There's hella people hating on it, but I mean, they're just, blowing it up more and more every day, so it's all right.
In one interview, Slim explained the formula. "I just wanted to make something that looked real, that felt like drill, but it's entertainment. That's all it is." But the rest of the world didn't know how to take that, because Slim looked serious. And in drill music, realness isn't optional. It's sacred. By the end of week 1, Drill Time had over 1 million views. By the end of the month, it was at 5. Radio DJs were reacting live on air. Hip-hop podcasts debated whether Slim was the end of the genre or its next ironic hero. Slim's flow was robotic, almost cold. But that became his signature. His energy wasn't hype, it was eerie. He delivered violent lyrics with the expression of someone ordering fast food. And that contrast hit hard with people online. But what many didn't realize is that Slim never claimed to be a gangster. From the start, he separated his music from his personal life. In his mind, this was no different from a movie. Rappers play characters. He was playing one too. Still, the lines were blurred, especially when real gang members started chiming in.
And I was one of the first people on it, like when it had like 12,000 views. I just put it on my page and everybody get to going crazy. I seen Diplo reposted, and then like Meek Mill and all those guys. I seen Black China. I knew it was gonna do that because it was just so funny.
The divide was growing. Half the internet treated Slim like a meme. The other half, especially artists from Chicago, took it personal. They saw a kid from the suburbs playing with fire, and some weren't amused.
At first I didn't know it was a lot. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, his business is business. That's his business. If he fake, I know I'm not. You know?
But Slim wasn't slowing down. With Drill Time now climbing past 10 million views, he was getting interview requests, show bookings, feature offers. Even Soulja Boy tweeted at him. It was happening, and fast. But Slim wasn't slowing down. With Drill Time now climbing past 10 million views, he was getting interview requests, show bookings, feature offers. Even respected Chicago drill legend Lil Bibby tweeted at him, trying to defend him against all the internet haters. Overnight, Slim went from unknown Ohio rapper to one of the most talked about new names in hip-hop. Whether he was real or not didn't seem to matter anymore. He had gone viral, and the machine was moving. But what Slim didn't know was that the same internet that made him famous was already loading up to tear him down.
He had like 1 or 2 little black friends, and they were really like nerds.
By September 2015, Slim Jesus was everywhere. Drill Time was at nearly 10 million views. He had gone from a local Ohio kid with a $100 camera to one of the most talked about rappers on the internet, all in less than a month. But going viral is one thing. Turning that attention into a real career, that's something else. As the views piled up, so did the questions. Who was he really? Was this just parody? Was he playing with fire? Or was he just the next evolution of drill? Proof that the genre had gone fully mainstream. Slim was booked for an interview with VladTV, the same platform where legends, gangsters, and rising stars had told their stories. But Slim's sit-down would change everything.
We drove to Ohio.
How was Frank Block?
Man, Frank Block as big as this table.
Streetwise, like, I mean, for the most part on the street, I got homies that, and I know people who are, and people around me. Like, I'm not out here catching bodies. I mean, I know people.
Unfortunately, this marked the beginning of the end for Slim Jesus, who lost all his mystique in one interview.
Do you have a criminal record at all?
Nah, I'm straight.
So you've never been arrested?
Nah, I've never been arrested, I'm straight.
Fans realized he was a really good kid, and they joked, claiming he was trying to make it out the suburbs to a better suburb, and he cemented himself as a meme rapper with no street credibility. The interview spread like wildfire. His honesty was shocking to some, refreshing to others. He wasn't trying to be a gangster. He was just performing and being himself. But in drill music, the line between performance and reality is razor thin. And admitting you're not about that life, that doesn't always go over well. Rappers who had lost friends to real street violence didn't find Slim's explanation clever. To them, he was a tourist, a mascot, someone mimicking the trauma they'd actually lived. Social media lit up with debate. Some fans defended Slim's right to make music however he wanted. Others called him a fraud, a culture vulture, or worse. Reaction videos poured in. Montana of 300 called him out by name. Other Chicago rappers posted subliminal tweets warning him to stay in his lane, but Slim didn't seem rattled. If anything, he embraced the chaos. He tweeted through the hate. He posted laughing emojis under the criticism. He leaned in hard. He even started doing shows, small ones at first, college campuses, underground clubs. He'd perform Drill Time 4 or 5 times in a single set because the fans didn't know any of his other music yet. At these early shows, it was chaos. Kids moshing, phones out, chanting the lyrics word for word like they were watching Chief Keef or Waka Flocka in 2011. Slim was their underdog hero, the suburban answer to drill. Booking agents quickly realized there was money to be made. Slim was cheap, low risk, and people were curious. They wanted to see him in person. He became a suburban legend. Footage from his first handful of shows hit YouTube. Slim didn't jump around or yell. He barely moved, just held the mic, deadpan, delivering bars with surgical coldness. Fans went nuts. He had tapped into something, the irony of being serious while not being serious at all. It was meme rap before meme rap became a category. Mainstream media outlets struggled to categorize Slim Jesus. Vice called him a drill Frankenstein. Noisy said he was either the future of rap or its collapse in real time. Some journalists tried to treat him like a legitimate artist. Others framed him as a symptom of the internet's obsession with shock. Behind the scenes, Slim stayed relatively quiet. He wasn't giving long interviews. He didn't post pictures with rappers. He didn't flex designer clothes or money. He kept it mysterious, which made people more obsessed. Some rappers mocked him. Others were scared of looking lame if they co-signed him. But a few actually gave him props. The truth is, Slim never had a real game plan. He didn't expect Drill Time to go viral. He didn't have a team ready to manage the spotlight. He didn't have a publicist, just a few friends, a camera, and a lucky break. He tried to keep up. He dropped new singles, Buck Buck, Young and Ignorant, and a few features with smaller underground artists, but none of them hit like Drill Time, and the pressure was building. Every new upload was judged against the one that made him famous. The novelty was wearing off. The expectations were rising, and Slim was being asked a question that not even he had the answer to. What now? The internet is fast, but it's also fickle. By the end of 2015, Slim was no longer trending. The memes slowed down. The bloggers moved on. YouTube comments started shifting from curiosity to mockery. But Slim wasn't done yet, not by a long shot. He had tasted fame. Now he wanted to prove he could stay in the game. One moment that signaled trouble came during his Young and Ignorant tour in Ottawa, Ontario. Mid-performance, likely during Drill Time, his DJ, known as Black Jesus, walked on stage and snatched the mic straight from his hand, forcing the music to stop. Then he looked into the crowd and yelled, "Support real hip-hop!"
Support real hip-hop!
At the end of the day, Slim Jesus was completely harmless, and whoever did this is a complete clown and a hater that never did anything with his rap career. But with that being said, with all the negative attention surrounding his career, at this point it wasn't a good look for Slim. Footage went viral. The internet debated whether it was staged, but the moment was raw. No glam, no filter, just a moment where the industry and Slim collided in public. In a follow-up interview, Black Jesus, the failed rapper who was clout chasing, tried lying to the public, and he said he wasn't mocking Easton personally. He was standing up for authentic art. The act wasn't just a stunt, it was a statement. Slim stayed silent at first. Later, he posted a brief, respectful caption. "It was real. I get it. Still learning." A far cry from his usual bravado, despite Slim being a very kind-hearted kid that never dissed anyone. Certain artists saw this as an opportunity to try and gain some street credibility, so they started bullying Slim. The mic snatch wasn't his only public setback. Around the same time, newcomer Ayoo KD, another self-styled internet rap phenom, dropped a diss track titled Slim Jesus Diss, poking fun at Slim's persona, production style, and the emptiness behind it. But it didn't stop at lyrics. Ayoo KD repeatedly name-dropped Slim online, like a viral stalker hoping attention would elevate him. That obsession spilled into real life. On Instagram Live, Ayoo KD called Slim soft, insisted he'd clap him while he's performing on stage, and threatened to expose him for being fake. It seemed calculated, desperate, and ultimately pathetic. In a really strange video, Ayoo KD calls one of Slim's old friends and tries exposing him for being a hard worker that doesn't have an issue with illegal substances, which is one of the strangest things the internet has ever seen. Normally these qualities are considered good. But for Ayoo KD, he doesn't consider you cool unless you're hooked on mind-altering substances.
How that happened though?
I don't know, bro. It was just, just regular days down here. Me making my music, he made my cover art, bro. Like, making my cover art, you know what I mean? Like, it's just regular. Like, he coming bringing me relos when I ask him to do, like.
Since Slim is such a nice guy, he would always offer to pick things up for people at the store if they needed anything.
I swear to God, bro. And then it turned into him asking us to get in his video. We got in this video.
He was begging y'all to get in this video?
Bro, he begged, bro. I put the messages on there. I'll send you the messages, bro. He begged, bro. I'm telling you, bro. He was like, trying to be in my video. He said,
Having the opportunity to be in a video with 63 million views would have given this man access to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for exposure and could have taken his rap career to the next level.
He said, I'll make you free cover arts if you be in my video.
I think we can all agree that's a pretty fair exchange.
Yeah, I ain't getting it. He actually, I told him no, but my checks did to do with the dread.
Right, yeah.
He got in it, and then took off on us. So then we FaceTimed him like, "What's up, bro? You really about to go through with all this food?" And then he was, feel me? Went through with that shit.
Ayoo KD then asks if Slim used to be working as if having a job and being a productive member of society is something pathetic and something people should laugh at and look down on.
Yeah, what he used to be working or something? How he used to be, bro?
Bro, this work. This work. He goes home. That's all. He don't smoke. He don't sip. None of that.
Flexing your addiction and clowning someone for working hard is crazy, and one of the most out-of-pocket things I have ever seen. That's why Slim is 10 times more successful than both of you while you guys were getting lit. Slim was focused on working hard and doing what he had to do to become successful. Something you guys could never dream of.
And it was a fake pose, huh?
Nah, everybody else posed one fake, but dudes was with the extended clip. That was fake.
Allegedly, everyone else had illegal weapons. But Slim was the only one smart enough to bring a prop and not risk years in jail over a music video. Ayoo KD had gotten completely obsessed with Slim Jesus, and even though Slim wasn't responding, he wanted to do all he could to make his life difficult and intimidate the harmless young man. And in a really strange turn of events, Ayoo KD saves up money like a stalker and flies to Hamilton, Ohio, where Slim is staying, so he can press him and look cool for the internet. As soon as he arrives in an attempt to bully Slim, him and his buddy start threatening physical harm against him.
Yeah, we just touched down in the interview.
Unfortunately, it appears that Ayoo KD never learned the English language as a child, and he still struggles with pronunciation.
In the interview, doing all that goofy out here, yo, the ducky, yo, taco, you Ohio, where you at? Where you at? Man, if you watching this video, tag it right now, man. Share this so you can see it here. Man, we really out here, you feel me? Stupid. Really out here. No shirt rocking, man.
As Ayoo KD's friend brags and starts flexing about the fact he is not wearing a shirt.
No shirt rocking, man.
They stand outside for hours and yell on their phone as they scream at their phone as they stand around with nothing to do in the middle of Hamilton, Ohio.
Don't think it ain't out here, though. On my mama, no shirt, none of that. This weekend, I don't need no shirt. I don't need no shirt. I got my shooter with me, all that shit. Don't get shot, dummy. Thought I went down here. You really down here, man. Well, we had three.
Not long after trying to bully Slim, his life takes a really unfortunate turn for the worse. Karma sets in, and his girlfriend ends up leaving him. And he posts one of the most embarrassing videos of all time to try and win her back.
I miss you so good. Okay, you can blast this on the internet. Oh, that I just miss you. I swear to God, there's nobody help me. If I was just in the studio, you could ask ready, I would really. You were just doing me wrong. Yeah, I didn't know what to do.
His bad karma really starts catching up with him after feeling like the toughest man in the world and going after Slim Jesus, who he feels is a weak target and that he can bully with no repercussions because he knows Slim won't stand up for himself. A couple of real gang members in Los Angeles jump him and rob him of his chain not long after. But unfortunately for him, it does not end here. This man continues getting jumped over and over again. After dissing 6ix9ine when he goes to New York, a couple of 6ix9ine's goons roll up on him and he gets jumped.
Get off here, bro! Get off here, bro!
Yeah, that Ayoo KD towards the F Trayway. Hey, we ain't doing nothing over here. Ain't no F Trayway, nothing over here. We got new 6ix9ine. We real Billy over here. Real Billy over here. Over here, though, homie. We real Billy over here. Get back, bro. We real Billy over here, though.
Bro, you better chill, bro.
Next, he buys a new chain and gets that robbed and taken from him in Chicago.
Yeah, Ayoo KD, show that face. Give me this chain, yeah!
After not learning his lesson, he keeps dissing and then gets robbed again in Chicago.
I'm gonna show y'all these Chicago rappers. Not really as tough as they say they is.
Everybody's gonna talk. Everybody gonna talk. Cause I'm not on that. I ain't on that with you. Listen, stop talking. Stop talking. Bro, hey, take home, stop. Shouty, stop. Okay. You don't know me. Well, I'm gonna introduce you to me. I'm not a rapper. I'm a street. Don't play with me. I keep my name out your mouth.
I ain't never say your name.
Keep reckless renegade out of your mouth. Say reckless renegade, I'm keeping reckless renegade out of my mouth. Say I'm keeping reckless renegade out of my mouth. Say it to the people.
I'm keeping it on, you know.
Don't call reckless now because y'all didn't want to call reckless then. Now you want to call reckless now.
Gotta call reckless.
Nah, say Chief Makey, ho.
Nah, this is call
Say Chief Makey, ho.
Call reckless. Call reckless.
Yeah, folks.
Chief Makey, yeah, yeah.
Say Chief Makey, ho.
Alright.
Say Chief Makey.
Chief Makey, yo.
Chief Makey. Nah, we don't need that. These shorties ain't gonna play with you. I will go broke on them. Don't play with you.
On the gas, boy.
You better bring answer his phone. Don't answer his phone. I'm yelling at him.
Hey, what now?
Let you know right now.
On they mouth to folks.
What's internet? What's it, G? What's it? Don't beat in, boy. Don't play with me, boy.
Who calls
Don't do no more Zach TVs. All that. Don't do no more of it. No more of it. You want to keep it in the street? We don't keep it in the street.
Hold on my mama grave, Jojo grave, bro. Ain't no grave, bro. Ain't no gun. I don't do none of that, bro. I know on my son, bro.
On my kids, they not finna take it.
Hey.
I was gonna put records on the phone.
After clowning Slim Jesus for having a job now in 2025, this man is completely homeless and relying on his friends to pay for his motels. Otherwise, he has nowhere to stay. Wouldn't it be nice to have a real job? The same thing you were talking down on.
My boy got me a hotel room. Shout out by lady. This week. And you feel me? Got my own shit. Appreciate you though, bro, for real. Yeah, we got my bathroom. Check it out.
If you're going to want to get a job, first thing you're going to have to do is pull up those pants. How do you even walk like that?
Yeah, for a couple months. I gotta start from somewhere, bro. Got the towel. TV. I'm just overthinking about it, man.
As Slim Jesus, born Easton Phillips, entered his early 20s, the social media fame that crumbled in 2016 began to feel like a distant echo. He was no longer the internet's viral punchline. Instead, he was evolving, and viewers watching today would barely recognize him. In 2020, 2 years after stepping back from Spotlight Rap, Easton quietly appeared alongside a tattooed graphic designer known only as Alex in multiple Instagram posts. Though they never tagged each other or ever confirmed a relationship, the way they hung out, on laid-back coffee dates, beach walks, handwritten Valentine's notes, suggested something deeper. While the relationship never made headlines, it revealed a very different Easton. Shy, considerate, reflective, not performing angles or fake narratives, just real connection. By mid-2021, he posted a contemplative birthday photo with the caption, "Blessed to see another one." In a now-deleted Instagram Q&A from early 2023, Easton disclosed under a public prompt, "Fame hurt me more than I'd admit." He went on, "Talking to a therapist saved me from spiraling because I realized I built a lot around one song." This candid admission shows profound growth. At a time when most rappers double down or diss shade, Easton chose healing, and that speaks louder than any diss track. Between 2018 and 2022, he recorded tracks in Atlanta for SoundCloud that surfaced briefly before disappearing from public view. These weren't drill. They were introspective, jazzy piano loops, lo-fi acoustics, whispered vocals. One track titled "Quiet Streets" sampled a piano riff, layered with his vocals reflecting on city life and loneliness. He captioned it, "Trying something new, relearning why I started." Those demos weren't hype like his old music, they were soul. And he was letting us hear the person behind the persona. By 2022, Easton chose stability over spotlight. He was photographed working behind the chair at a Cincinnati barbershop, trimming fades, chatting with customers, at peace on the floor of an iconic local joint. Allegedly, he even rehired his old merch line briefly, selling jackets and hats via Instagram storefront. No PR push, just slow sales to loyal followers. Versus large-scale tours, this was intimate commerce. Slim's estimated net worth remained around $400,000 as of mid-2023. For someone who vanished from virality, that shows smart hustle, merch, minor bookings, sound engineering side gigs. He didn't throw money away. He invested in himself. In 2024, in a since-deleted post, allegedly, Easton posted a picture in front of a small church with his mom in Hamilton, Ohio. Captioned, "Back where it started. No cameras, just sounds." This wasn't for press. It was a rebirth. Friends say he's been spending nights writing lyrics and producing tracks with just his old crew and no agenda, no viral expectations, just creative freedom. This isn't the story of a failed rapper. It's the story of a young man reclaiming himself. A man now in his late 20s turning trauma into therapy, performance into honesty. By the time Slim Jesus stepped off the viral stage, it was already too late. The damage had been done. He had been mocked, exposed, doubted, and ridiculed. Not because he was talentless, not because his bars were weak, but because he was early. Imagine how he felt when the same DJ he hired turned on him and ripped his mic off stage to try and punk him. Slim Jesus walked so that today's viral white rappers could run. Without Slim, rappers like Lil Mabu and Lil Brazy wouldn't be able to exist. Slim never dissed any hoods. He never tried to be something he wasn't. He was always fully honest in interviews and was just a kid that worked hard and liked making a certain kind of music. And because of it, the media absolutely destroyed him.
Not real at all. Everything, it was not real.
And attacked him relentlessly until he gave up on his career. Nowadays, it seems like rappers can say whatever they want and nobody seems to care. A lot of rappers nowadays make up whatever fairy tales they want and everyone just rolls with it for the entertainment. Just listen to this rapper from Utah talk about his upbringing in a No Jumper interview.
You like white, or is it mixed race, or is it predominantly black?
Me and my dad black.
Oh, your dad black?
Yeah, so my whole family's like...
It's crazy what we let rappers get away with these days. Imagine the amount of hate Slim Jesus would have gotten if he came out saying something like this.
Like
your biological father or
yeah,
your
my biological father.
Oh, so you black?
Yeah.
Okay. We get a 23andMe.
my dad's black.
And it doesn't stop there. These new age rappers are actually dissing hoods and talking crazy about people when Slim Jesus was nothing but humble and honest the entire time.
BK Bands, I'm smacking the out of it. I'm smacking the dog. They got buns out there.
Next, we get to hear him compare Utah to Chicago.
It's just like Chicago.
It's just not Buttonland compared to Salt Lake, so it evens
It's
out.
like Chicago.
Next, we get to hear the Gummy Bear Demon explain how he pressed up on some rivals.
Homies pressed up on some chap. We did him hella cold, and then we bent a block or two. You feel me? A couple times. Get back.
When Drill Time dropped in 2015, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. And the hate wasn't subtle. Comment sections were filled with slurs, threats, and jokes. Rappers clowned him, blogs dragged him, fans debated whether he was a joke or a threat to the genre. But step back, what exactly had Slim Jesus done wrong? He made a drill track. He used props. He admitted he wasn't in the streets. He told the truth, and still got crucified for it. In an industry filled with exaggeration, here was an 18-year-old kid being honest. And somehow that made him the target. Slim never said he was a gangster, never said he was sliding on ops. He said he was inspired by drill music and wanted to recreate that energy in his own style. Entertainment first. But the game wasn't ready for that kind of transparency, especially from someone who didn't look the part. He was attacked harder than rappers who lied, harder than artists who fabricated entire pasts. Slim told the truth and still got treated like a fraud. Let's be real. Without Slim Jesus, there is no Lil Mabu. There's no viral drill parody lane. No high school rapper with a switch trend. Why was it only offensive when Slim did it, but for everyone else? It's cool when Slim is one of the kindest and most genuine guys out there. But he was attacked so relentlessly for so long that eventually the internet broke him, and he gave up on his career. Lil Mabu came in years later, also a white rapper, also leaning into drill energy, also rapping with a wink. But the difference? Mabu didn't get dragged the same way. Why? Because Slim Jesus had already taken the hits. He absorbed the backlash so the next wave wouldn't have to. When you really look at Slim Jesus's impact, you have to reframe the story. He wasn't just a meme. He was a cultural reset button. He was the first one through the wall. And it hurt. He took the insults. He took the career hits. He got mic snapped in Ottawa, got death threats online, got called every name you can imagine, just for daring to enter a genre that wasn't built for him. And now, the door is wide open, because Slim Jesus took all the bullets so others could walk through without flinching. And the saddest thing is nobody ever gives Slim any respect or credit for the genre he created when in reality he was way ahead of his time. When a white artist like Jack Harlow enters hip-hop today, he's welcomed with memes, applause, and record deals. When Lil Mabu drops a new video, the comments are mostly positive. People say he's clever or he gets it. Slim Jesus didn't get that grace. In 2015, the culture hadn't made room for him yet, and instead of being guided, he was gutted. People forget, Easton Phillips was just a kid, 18, still in high school. Barely knew how the industry worked, and the world treated him like he was trying to take something, when all he wanted to do was create. He had no machine, no label, no mentor, just a camera, a song, and a vision. He was mocked for his honesty, clowned for his truth, and abandoned by a system that only rewards those who survive the viral churn.
We get a role in a movie right now, the whole movie gonna be fake. Denzel ain't a killer in real life.
Years from now, when people study how drill spread beyond Chicago, when they look at how white artists entered rap culture post-2015, Slim Jesus will be in that conversation. Not because he was the best, not because he was the hardest, but because he was the first. He was the sacrificial lamb for an entire movement, the price that had to be paid so the culture could evolve. If you go on his YouTube, because of the hate, he has deleted almost all of his videos and only has 9 left. And the same could be said for his Instagram, where he deleted a majority of his posts because they were overflowing with hateful and nasty comments, and the internet broke him. If you made it this far, there's enough negativity in the world. Let's all do something kind for a change. We should all head to the comment section on Slim's posts and flood it with kind and uplifting comments. The fact that he was a nice, hard-working kid and not a gangster out there terrorizing the streets isn't a reason to bash him. Let's all spread some love Slim's way, and hopefully we can inspire him to get back on the mic, because I think he still has a lot he can offer to the world if he can get out from under his shell.